All right, today we're going to talk about some big boy stuff. Today we're going to talk about how to sell high ticket offers over cold email. I'm going to break down the exact process, strategy, and tactics for selling high ticket offers over cold email. At the time of making this content, Monday, September 15th, 2025, my agency Vintage Scale still employs a cold traffic and cold email first client acquisition strategy. As has been hinted in past videos and documents, we do work exclusively with clients who sell high ticket offers. So an $8,000 or more lifetime value is what we look for as our minimum threshold, with the average ticket size being $20,000 plus per deal, all encompassing. And we'll talk about the different niches that produce those kind of numbers. It's very, very common. We'll demystify all of this stuff in this video, I promise. But I'll be showing you, as usual, everything, so that you can get in on this AI and cold email hype train early and in the right way, make a stupid amount of money, and absolutely crush your competition and decimate them. If you are a B2B business owner, you can take this and the contents of this document and these videos and apply it to your business to scale quickly. As always, this document is available for free download in the description below this video. Just click the link, put in your email and Gumroad, and it will be free. I will send it to you via email, plus some more no BS tips and advice throughout the week. Don't worry, I won't spam you. I will only reach out with stuff that will make you richer. With that being said, if you don't know who I am, my name is Pablo Melandu. I'm the founder of Vintage Scale, a B2B AI marketing agency. We currently generate over $250,000 a month in deal flow for our clients with AI and cold email. And I'm making this video because my goal is very simple. My goal is to help you make more money, because when you make more money, you'll trust me more. You may become a client of mine and make even more money in that way, and I will make more money because you will pay me my fee, and we'll all be richer. I have done this twice now, 2 different businesses, scaling both to multiple 6 figures in a matter of weeks. You can watch that case study right here, and this video is also on my channel, but for convenience purposes, I've embedded it in this document. And now I'm building my marketing agency, Vintage Scale, in real time in front of you all, which I've been documenting pretty much since day one. I put out no BS content. If you are new here, you will realize that very quickly. I would recommend you download this document for free again once you are done watching this, and go through it to make sure you are applying it, because most people binge content but don't ever actually do anything with it, and that's why they stay poor. So take what works for you and apply it. I make no income claims. Results are not typical. Here's some proof as always. If it's your first time here, we do have to go through this stuff. So here's a $28,000 deal that we generated within 7 days. The dates, timestamps, campaign statistics are all there. Case study. With my experience in growing and scaling businesses, here's the case study of a funnel that's doing about $40,000 per week in deals for a client of ours. Screenshots of us handing multi-6-figure, well, that's not multi, but $185,000 deal for a client of mine, and the reaction, $66,000 in sales opportunities, $30,000 in deal flow within a week each. This is very common campaigns that we just screenshotted and edited here. Actual client case study testimonial interviews, them giving their feedback, working with us, and the results that we've gotten them, how we actually build the architecture that gets these clients results, so on and so forth, so you can pick apart all that stuff. As always, watch my content, download this document, apply it, and you will become one of the most lethal cold emailers and entrepreneurs on the planet. So now let's talk about selling $20,000 offers, over cold email. So, disclaimer, I am only making this video because I've done it, or I've done its equivalent in the form of one-time fees, split payments, or commission or performance-based work for done-for-you services or for build and release projects. You will find that we are, I should also say, or consultative projects. You will find that all we are doing here is collapsing the time in which you receive the full payment for services provided. Hold on, guys, I got to zoom in. There we go. So you will find that all we are doing here is collapsing the time in which you receive the full payment for services provided. And in this guide, I will show you how to make this make sense to the customer, and also how to position yourself so that you become an authority at every stage of the cold email process, so that it logically makes sense in the prospect's mind to pay you this much, and so that they feel comfortable doing so. Now, full disclosure, we got to do this because it's YouTube and we're talking about money and fake gurus and stuff. So full disclosure, this will not be most of you. And this is not an everyday thing for anybody, not even for myself. A lot of these videos will not be relevant to you for another 3 months or so. What we're doing is a matter of planting seeds and preparing you for what's coming. That being said, again, I do not make any income claims. I'm not claiming you're going to make this amount. My results are not typical, and I am not here to sell anybody a dream. I am here to get those I work with results and document how we got those results in these documents. But that means I must also express the reality of the fact that you can go broke in business. Your clients can be poached. Your clients can leave you. Your clients can screw you over. You can sign bad deals, so on and so forth. The information is delivered in a way to prevent that from happening as much as possible. But if you are aware of how screwed over you can get, you'll be much more dangerous, lethal, sharp, and able to navigate the business landscape. Cool? We good? All right. It feels like a theme park, a theme park waiver you got to sign when you watch these videos. Anyway, prerequisites. So things that have to be in place for this to even be some sort of a reality and possible scenario. Okay. So this is geared towards agency owners and B2B business owners who are doing north of $5,000 a month already. If you sell ebooks to individuals, or you sell, you do e-com and stuff like that to individual consumers and not to businesses, this cold email doesn't really work so well in that situation. It just doesn't. Okay. So geared towards agency owners, B2B service providers, B2B business owners, period, who are doing north of 5K a month at the moment. If you're not doing 5K a month at the moment, but you are still doing B2B, I'd recommend you watch this anyway, because you got to hang with the big boys. You got to hang with the big kids. Okay. How you start thinking and talking in the way that we do on this channel is you just soak it in even before you're ready. All right. I was a young pup reading Warren Buffett's shareholders letters. I had no business doing so. I didn't own a single stock. This is the kind of stuff you got to do. Okay. So I'm not going to baby you here. I'm going to talk to you like you're a business partner, or like we're in business together, or like you're in my mastermind or something like that. Okay. My inner circle sort of thing. Next, you have to actually be good at what you do. No cheating, no cutting corners, no fake nonsense. You have to actually be good at what you do. More specifically, at your ability to deliver results. Okay, so the only reason why this is even remotely possible for me is because I'm good at what I do. The only reason why I would even consider paying, let's say, $20,000 or $30,000 to a media buyer or someone who runs ads for me, not that anyone does, but I'm just saying, I'm making something up here, is because they have to actually be able to deliver results and be good at what they do. Okay, so that's the prerequisite. So if you're not good at what you do, take some time. Get good. Give yourself, I don't know, how long does it take to get good? 4, 8, but about 8 to 12 weeks. Just play around with things. Give yourself, 8 weeks to 12 weeks, and just sit in a basement and lock in. Get good. It doesn't take that long to get good. Okay. And then third, the value of whatever you do has to be quantifiable. So it can't be feelings based. We can't sell therapy for $20,000 over cold email. Okay. And you must be able to demonstrate this value. So for those of you who do lead gen or deal generation, I've linked my ROI calculator below. I've shown this to some of you in consultations and calls and stuff. We'll talk more about this later. I didn't make this. A friend of mine in this space did. We'll go through this later. But this allows you to demonstrate the exact return that you will get for a business. We'll go through this later. And you can just remix this and make this your own and lovable. Okay, it's very easy to do at the top right. Sorry, no, this is not Lovable. This is Claude. But you can tell Lovable to do the same thing, or you can tell Claude to just remix it and make it your own. Make it nice and pretty, okay? But it works. Cool. All right. So those are the 3 prerequisites. All right. B2B, north of 5K a month. What this 5K a month really indicates is that you have some sort of expertise and skill. That's really all it is. All right. You have some case studies or some confidence or whatever it is. That's all it indicates. Next, you have to be actually good at what you do. And then so competency. And then third, the value of what you do has to be quantifiable, and you must be able to demonstrate this value. Case studies, or use my ROI calculator as well. Both of those things, actually. Now, I didn't make this, again, a friend of mine did. You can remix it in Lovable if you want to make adjustments. That's the ROI calculator. Now, what makes this possible and how we make this a normal, realistic thing? Selling these high ticket offers to cold traffic. So number 1 is targeting. We'll go through all of these, but number 1 is targeting. You need to be targeting people with money. This should be self-explanatory. Okay. Number 2, the offer. So not just the payoff, not just what we're promising them, but the packaging of it too. So, my fee right now, which should be way higher, is $16K, and sounds like a lot at one time, but it's not. It's $5,300 a month for 3 months. It's not that much. It's not out of this world. $5,300 a month versus $16K one-time fee versus $16K one-time fee versus a 50% deposit versus all up front versus upon close, staged payments, right? All that stuff matters. We'll talk about that. And then 3, like we have to think about that is what I mean. And number 3 is trust. So the more you can increase trust, the better, especially with cold traffic. Now, this is all I'm focused on in my own business and in my own campaigns for any offer I launch, is building trust. It's the only thing I'm focused on. Before even thinking about an offer, I'm focused on building trust. Always. We'll talk about what that looks like in cold email. There's different tactics. There's looms. There's stuff like that. This is what I'm thinking about. I'm always trying to keep my trust bank very high so that if it needs to be cashed in, we can do so. If I need to withdraw from the trust bank, we can do that. And folks trust that I can get them to the next point, right? So at any given moment right now, I have so much trust built. I'm just being very transparent. I have so much trust built in the community, in the marketplace, between my cold traffic, my content, my case studies and interviews and clients vouching for me and referrals. And so I have so much trust built in the marketplace. At any moment in time, I can launch an offer right now that can make me an extra 50 to 100 grand a month. I get to choose when I cash it in. And that is how you have to think. I will keep citing the Alex Hormozy thing. At any moment in time, like, I think I saw on Twitter that they delayed the $100 million Money Models book launch for a year. He could have cashed he had $100 million worth of trust built in the marketplace that he could have cashed in at any moment in time. This is how you have to think. This is when you mature as a business owner, as an entrepreneur. This is when you mature and you get out of like rookie, the kiddie pool with the floaties type of entrepreneur who's always trying to cash things in and be very transactional and treats every relationship like a transaction. Don't do that. Don't do that. And the most mature version of you is the one that, is part of masterminds, for example, and just hangs out or just goes for a Starbucks coffee chat with a friend of yours. And because you never know what this turns into. And then, they call you the next week and say, hey, we got a deal on the table. It's for X, Y, and Z. Do you want in on it? Like that's how business deals happen. That's the most mature version of you, is when you stop trying to cash every conversation in. Stop trying to take your friends or your followers to the bank. Don't do that. It works for this long. It works for 3 months. And that's why like all like the 17, 18-year-old kids, it's their first time building an SMMA or something like that. And like they have success for like 2 or 3 months or maybe a year or two. And then they are nobodies. It's that, because they keep trying to cash everybody in. That's it. Don't do that. Anyway. So, I keep my trust bank very high so that if it needs to be cashed in, we can do so. And also, folks actually trust that I can get them to the next point because, again, we did the whole job of getting good, right? So there's actual, like, there's ample proof of this being able to be delivered. Notice how I start every video with, like, you got to sit through this whole thing, right? You got to sit through this whole thing. Anyway, where was I? All right, so. The more you can increase trust, the better. This needs to be you too. All right. So let's slow things down a bit. Right. We're thinking bigger than just cold email here. We're thinking bigger than the copywriting. I'm trying to make you really lethal as an owner of a business. I'm trying to make you really lethal as someone who's self-employed, an entrepreneur, a boss. I'm trying to, like, there's strategy behind this. And we'll talk about that more in a second. But there are ways that we do this over cold email. It will be done in layers. Trust will be built in layers. All right. Trust will be built in layers. We increase trust in layers. We have different mechanisms to subtly increase trust, subtly and subconsciously increase a cold prospect's trust to the point where they will be willing to pay us 5 figures, $20,000 type of stuff, 10K, 20K, even 8K, but 10K, 20K for our work. Little things. And we'll go over all these. There's like all these are different factors, right? Layers, my friends. Layers. Our success is built in layers. Our business is built in layers. Our skill set, this lethal skill set that we're honing every day on this channel, is built in layers. Copywriting is a layer. Sales is a layer. AI automation is a layer. Business strategy is a layer. Targeting is a layer. Selling high ticket is a layer. Crafting high ticket offers is a layer. Converting high ticket offers is a layer. Client management is a layer. Layers, guys. We think and operate in layers. You don't have to be great now. Just be good. And if you're not good yet, just get started. Layers, stack the layers. We're not going to rush things here. We're going to plant seeds, map our battle plan, and think in layers. Now that I have this as your frame of mind, layers. That's me. I'm Shrek, by the way, and you're Donkey. But anyway, so layers. So I emphasize this layers word because this is a large part of what has allowed me to succeed with cold email. It's because I'm very skilled at business strategy, and you will be too if you're not already. Business is war, like I've said several times before, and that's not a joke. There are more parallels between business and war than any other close comparison. Perhaps sports, but war. Sports is war. We must plan our offense, calculate our risk, recruit and activate our allies, activate our troops, so on and so forth. And by the way, this is part of why I post every day. Just being honest and transparent with you. Each one of these videos is a clone of me who is selling on my behalf. Someone's always running into me for the first time. I don't know on which video it's going to be. I'm making all these clones of me are making first impressions on my behalf. So my sales team gets bigger every single day, and my PR team gets bigger every single day. And so client acquisition gets larger and larger and easier. And I attract bigger budget clients, and regular budget clients are willing to spend more to bid for space in the queue to work with me. But also because there's just more trust built, because they spent so much time here on this channel. I knew months ago that it really didn't matter how many views these get, because each of these views were worth their weight in gold. So, one like business education view is worth, like, we'll say 100 entertainment views. But forget the views for a second. Forget the YouTube videos for a second. There's a way to do this just in the direct email ecosystem, remaining anonymous. So let's proceed. So this is all just a fancy macho way of saying what has allowed me to sell expensive things to cold traffic is my understanding that in 2025, going into 2026, a lot of cold email is about what's happening outside of the email itself. So things like reputation, online presence, website. So when I say website, I mean like your headline, VSL. And I'm probably going to have to help you guys out with this, the VSL and the headlines, because this is important. Funnel, references and case studies, so on and so forth. So I hope you're following me so far, but this is like these add to the layers. Okay. These add to the layers. 20K, them saying yes to a 20K offer is a bunch of different layers leading up to the yes. They have to be at least like an 8 out of 10 on the trust scale, if not a 9 out of 10 on the trust scale. Layers. You don't just go from 0 to a 9. You have to build it in layers. So targeting strategy. Let's get into the meat of this. This is the battle plan. Deal size, right? So within under targeting strategy, let's talk about deal size. So this is very simple. Target companies with 10 plus employees who have money in industries where the deal size is rather large. So here's a small example. My first job out of university was at an investment consulting firm, a private firm ranked number 1 in Canada at the time. The company had less than 10 employees. But what the company did was consult on the best possible investment options for companies' pensions funds. For example, because I know that was a mouthful. For example, this is purely an example. What we would do is we might consult a company like Mercedes-Benz on the best place to invest their pension fund money, as they are not experts in this, obviously. Right. So by the way, this is a photo of me as a pipsqueak financial analyst who used to sit in a cubicle and build financial models all day. I've come a long way. That I'm the same age in this picture as a lot of you who I engage with. Anyway, so a company like Mercedes-Benz might have a $500 million pension fund. The firm I worked for might charge a 1% fee. So do the math. That would be about $5 million that they'd earn on the deal. Or they might have an engagement fee, kind of like the way I do, or the way some of you guys have, where, it's like a, $50,000 engagement fee or whatever it is, just to take on the project or to take on the client. They might charge a fee for percentage of upside. Either way, it's a lot of money, right? So there are industries that just deal with a lot of money. Financial services and its sub-niches, agencies, naturally, as we're middlemen, tech companies, when you're dealing with enterprise solutions, so on and so forth. So it's easier to make friends in these industries and gain trust if you have industry experience. If not, I would say go after agencies. Agencies like marketing agencies, for example. Now, by the way, here's a list of B2B agencies I got from ChatGPT. sorted by highest average ticket size. But again, there's tech, financial services, manufacturing, which is also very lucrative, so on and so forth. But this is just agencies. I'm assuming you don't have any experience in any of these industries, okay? But if you do, then go after the ones where, you know, you got a bit more of a fighting chance because you have industry experience. We've talked about that in previous videos. Cool. Anyway, so that's a list. You can get it by downloading this document. Now, use ChatGPT again to tell you where the money's at. That's why we're here, right? Because we get to use AI. No, so let's use it in a way that's almost cheating. Anyway, now let's understand price structure and what makes this possible, right? So this is another tactic, pricing structure for high ticket offers and pricing strategy as well. Pricing strategy. So we've talked about who to target. That comes first, because if they don't have the money to begin with, then we can't just make the money up here, right? Not everybody, surprisingly, not everybody you're going to run into on your business calls is Mark Cuban. So most business owners, are not Mark Cuban. So I've cited my $16K fee a few times in these videos because I don't want to waste anyone's time. Also, it's in my VSL. It's also in the application form. So people know. And it sounds like a lot, but it's not a lot. Let me break this down for you and show you how you might be able to do the same. Again, like I hinted at the beginning of this video, it comes out to about $5,300 per month for 3 months. I only work for people. I only agree to a 3-month engagement, 90 days. They keep the system forever. So that's not unheard of, right? $5,300 per month as on a retainer basis. It's not unheard of. But the way I structure it as a one-time fee does two things for me. That gives me a competitive advantage. Number one, it immediately optimizes it for cold traffic. So in other words, someone who I haven't had the luxury of spending a lot of time with and building immense trust with, someone who doesn't know me, it makes it easier to digest. They're not committing to a month, like a monthly, they're not locked into any sort of contract. It's a one-time fee. And since it's a one-time fee and not a month-to-month contract, like $5K a month, right, which we can always transition to later anyway, again, it's less jarring. Number two, it expresses the seriousness of what I do, how seriously I take myself, and it reflects the confidence that I have in what I do. So if you're going to pitch a high ticket offer, you should consider this, especially optimizing it for cold traffic. Screw the dollar amount, for example. We've already established that we're doing high ticket here. If you're going to pitch a high ticket offer, you should consider this, especially optimizing it, the part about optimizing it for cold traffic, since this is cold email. Note, this is a big thing. And I learned this very late. This is gonna like pull on what you know for a little bit. Do not lead with a guarantee. Have a guarantee. Definitely have a guarantee. Don't lead with a guarantee. Don't make that part of your marketing thing. This is a big thing. Until this day. The or you don't pay. I'll get you 5 leads in 30 days. Or you don't pay. Like the or you don't pay thing screams beginner. It just screams beginner. Now, if you're a beginner under 5K a month, you should use that. You should incorporate this. If you don't have any case studies, if you don't have any history of actually having done this thing for real at a high level, you should use that. But if you're not a beginner, you can mention it, but don't lead with it, right? If a client asks, if they ask me, I'll tell them, but I don't lead with it. People like, it's a beginner thing where they got to spit this out as quickly as possible, or you don't pay. Don't do that. Now, see my landing page headline. This is my current landing page headline, which needs some updating, but this is what it is currently. Get the exact system installed in your business that we use to generate over $250,000 a month in deal flow. We'll build and run it for you for 90 days, land you 15 high ticket meetings, and you own the entire system forever. See how I don't have or you don't pay? Now we have a performance guarantee, meaning if we don't, get you where you need to be and within the time frame suggested, then we will continue to work for free as seriously. So I have a wait list of folks wanting to work with me. But at the start, when I didn't have a wait list of folks, I did have a money back guarantee everywhere. Now there's never even an ask by the client. I do the thing and it happens. That's how it goes. I say what's going to happen and then I execute and then it happens. It's just a matter of sending enough emails and testing enough campaigns. It's not a matter of if we can do it or not, if we're capable of doing it or not. It's a matter of when. I wouldn't take you on if I wasn't capable. Like this is why we have friction in the process and application form, so on and so forth, and right. So it's a matter of it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, and this has to be you. This has to be how you have to think, and this is how you make sense of pricing so much in your head. And if it takes longer than expected, we work for free. That's it. And for any beginners watching, I only got here again because at the start of all this, I decided to humble myself and work for free until I ironed out a process that kept working over and over and over and over again. So, what did we just talk about to summarize before we get lost? Optimizing offers for cold traffic so that this stuff even makes sense, so that people can even take you seriously, and how to actually get them to take you seriously is by taking yourself seriously. This is positioning. A lot of this is self-esteem. To sell high ticket, you got to think high ticket. You got to be around high ticket people. We talked about this in the mindset videos. So much of this is self-esteem. So much of this is just giving yourself permission. But in terms of what that looks like in an email, it's optimizing it for cold traffic, one-time fee, so on and so forth, removing certain things from your headline, removing certain things from the email. Like part of why I charge what I charge is because if the client isn't already charging a high amount, it trains them to be able to charge a high amount. You'll never be able to charge the money you want to charge unless you're used to paying that kind of money, right? Like I in one of the mindset videos, the last one, I was like, I paid this young kid $16,000 for his mentorship. And do you think I'd ever be able to charge, like magically, hey, look, here I am charging a $16K fee. Like, you think that's coincidence? It's not coincidence. When you start to pay high ticket, when you start to be around high ticket people, when you start to talk high ticket language, it opens up the door for you thinking that this is now your new normal and that this is possible. It normalizes it in your head. This is why you have, this is why people who live in more expensive cities tend to make more. Like, it normalizes this, right? So this is why my fee is what it is. It's to weed out a lot of folks, but also to attract the right folks. And then if the right folks came in, but they're not charging enough, them paying me will train them to think that this is normal. This is why we do it. I can help you make a lot more money a lot faster if we just charge more. I just have to condition you for it. I just got to push you in the pool a little bit. So that's what that's about. So much of this is just about getting out of your own way, right? Like, going from 0 to 20K a month can happen in 1 month if you just charge you sell 2 things for 10 grand. And I guarantee you, the folks who are going to pay you are out there. We just position you in a way to make you look and come across as the actual authority you are, and then it all works out into place. Sometimes it takes me rolling up my sleeves a little bit, right? But even just through the consultations I have with folks, like, that's just the biggest thing. If I know if I can get this client or this founder out of their own way for a second, and just to trust me blindly, like, just to follow my instructions blindly, the whole it's the path to where they wanted to get becomes a lot shorter. You're a lot closer to where you want to be. You just keep telling yourself that it's really far away. It's not. So next, patience and the sales process. So part of why you guys trust me more on here, it's because I don't need your money, respectfully. If you watched every single one of my videos from the time I started posting on YouTube, this video right here would be the 78th time you've seen me. The 78th time you've seen me where I haven't tried to sell you anything and I haven't asked for anything. 78 times. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not the 6th time. Imagine hanging out with someone 78 times. How many times do you hang out with someone in a year? Now think about 78 times, right? Several of you have been on calls with me for 90 minutes, 2 hours, some 3 hours. It's been the same thing. I have not asked anybody for anything because I don't need any money from you guys. This is the nice part about running a business. So what happens is there's just this immediate reality that sets in your mind and just in the core of you, in your gut, to where you understand at some point or another, but usually very quickly, that I don't need your money. And this is the energy you must carry when selling anything high ticket. And 10 times that. Like 10 times more grounded in this positioning of yourself when selling to cold traffic. So what does this look like in practicality? Because the moment, this is important, because the moment this reeks of desperation is the moment this all falls apart. There's so much an energy and an energetic and a people thing This is like the emotional intelligence thing. This is why celebrities only hang out with celebrities. It's because normal people freak out every time they see them. This is why beginners can't sell high ticket, because they get nervous on the sales call and they can't stop yapping and talking. This is like my advice, my sales advice to most people is just to literally physically lean back in your seat. Lean back. Just physically lean back and see how much that does for you in terms of calming you down. Anyway, so what does this look like, this patience and confidence look like in practicality? So the way, if you guys probably already know this, it's the same thing at high ticket, but when selling B2B, you're really looking at one sales call and a proposal. That's the sales process beyond the initial email exchange, right? Maybe 2 calls, but really there's no need for 2 calls. So you will know if they're a suitable client for you on that first call, and they will know if this is suitable for them on that first call. The more affluent and wealthy the client, the less hand-holding they need. They will likely ask for a proposal. You should actually just, you should, like, that should be the standard, right? But they'll likely ask for a proposal. Or if there's a follow-up call, it will be to meet one of their business partners. But that's it. It's never the same call twice. It's never the same one-on-one call twice. So if they do propose the same one-on-one call twice, you know you're dealing with someone who's a BSer. That happens. Like, you will get on calls with people who wear a Rolex or something, but they're not doing that well business-wise. They maybe had a good year or two and they bought themselves something nice, but they're not doing well. They're not doing that well business-wise. This happens a lot. I've had this happen to me a lot. So what does this look like? So 2 things matter here. Number 1, how to make sure you're always leading the, So 2 things matter here. Number 1, how to make sure you're always leading the process, the sales process, and not getting little broed into extra parts of the process that are unnecessary, right? That matters. So you gotta set boundaries. This is a fancy way of saying you have to set boundaries on your time. All this stuff matters. Notice how little we're talking about copywriting today, because the copywriting is the same. It's just what you say yes to and no to, and how available you are. Don't be available for 2 calls, right? If a second call is suggested, you reply saying, is there any concern with what we talked about or whatever it is? Like, get them to tell us you over email. Number 2. So that's the first thing that matters, is not being too available and setting boundaries. You have to define what the process looks like. It's 1 sales call plus a proposal. You can have another sales call if you're meeting with someone new. Second, how to create decent proposals, because it has to look quality and highlight the right things. And we'll talk about making proposals another day, but make it result in ROI focus. Anything you talk about from the moment you send that email to the moment you close has to be ROI focus. You keep bringing it back to the ROI. You're going to put everything in that proposal, and you're going to make it result in ROI focus. I see a lot of folks sending proposals, even myself when I first started, sending proposals about the history of your company. Don't do that. Nobody cares. Make it about ROI. That's why the very first thing, I target a certain kind of client in these videos. The very first thing I start these documents off with is what? What is this picture right here? Total deal value, total deals earned in this campaign, right? With the campaign stats and the dates, so on and so forth. I gotta update these now, but that's what I start everything with. For a certain, it's very subtle things that I don't always explain, but I know exactly, like, it's the positioning of it all is what matters. Cool. So do not get on another call to clarify anything unless you are meeting someone new. Otherwise, it is BS. It should always be an email after that first call, again, unless you're meeting someone new. In most cases, the end-to-end process from initial email to close should be under 2 weeks, meaning from the time you send that first email and you hit launch on the campaign to the time you close with high ticket offers, high ticket clients, bigger budget clients. Should be less than 2 weeks. They move quickly. Use Gamma Doc to make your proposals. I'll show you some examples another day in its own video. Now, sales calls. Again, the copywriting is the same for a $500 offer or a $20,000 offer. It's the same. That's why we're not talking about copywriting. That's why we're not talking about how the email should look, because it's the same. It's the exact same. You're just targeting different people, and you're not including or you don't pay in the offer statement. That's it. Just keep up. Just keep up. Okay. Sales calls. The 3 things that will make all the difference is your ability to, number 1, get them to admit they have a problem. Number 2, get them to understand the quantifiable cost of not fixing this problem. Number 3, demonstrate the ROI of working with you. The first 2 are sales 101. I can teach you that some other day. If you are above 5 to 10K a month, you know how to do this already. If not, just download a sales script somewhere. Nevertheless, for number 3, you will need an ROI calculator. Again, you can build it on Lovable. Here's mine again for the deal generation folks. Did I show you this at the beginning of the video? I don't remember. But anyway, just in case I didn't, here's what it looks like, okay? So in every call, in every meeting. So all these are sliders and they're dynamic, which means you can actually move them. And I'm asking them for the customer lifetime value, how many meetings or whatever the metric is, that will get them a month. What their conversion rate is, what the current cost per meeting is. If at the time I was doing performance based, but usually I just leave this blank because I do a one-time fee and then I raise this to, the max. So, and then it shows them the worst case, middle case, best case. I raise it to the max for me, by the way, but this is a bit outdated. So worst case, middle case, and then best case scenario, I usually stick conservative, and it shows you the actual profit that they will make. Cool. All right. So I know that was a bit zoomed in. Can I zoom out for you guys? Can you guys see that? There you go. So it just looks like that. Cool. Get myself out of the way. That's that. So it literally shows them, hey, if you work with me and then you pay me my fee and blah, 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 this is how much we will get you, all things considered. If your closing rate is exactly what you tell me it's going to be, then it's going to be this, that, the third. Cool. All right. And then we put that in a proposal and lock that in. So it makes it make sense. It makes it make sense. Like the more affluent folks they're very logical. Show me the ROI, help me understand, and help me feel like you can actually do, that you can actually do what you say you're going to do. Right. But you have to get them to admit that they have a problem. You have to. And we'll talk about sales 101 some other day if you guys really need it. But again, if you are between 5 to 10K a month, you don't need this. If you're not at 5 to 10K a month, like if you're below 5K a month, then just download a sales script and watch some Alex Hormozy sales videos and you'll be fine. So leading up to this call, between all things in and out of your email, you should have built enough proof of your ability to deliver results. So they will look you up. Folks who can pay you this much, they'll look you up. And if they're on the call, it's because there's enough trust in this already. Just be nonchalant about it. So let's summarize everything we talked about in this video. Target the right people and this all gets easier. Take a regular offer and make it a one-time fee backed by some sort of guarantee. Don't lead with this. So like a performance-based guarantee or a money-back guarantee, whatever it is. Be ROI focused at all times. So my 16K fee is nothing in comparison to the ROI I deliver. My 16K fee, which really should be 30K at this point, and I will likely do so in the coming weeks. It works because number 1, it targets the right people. Number 2, it's still an entry offer still an entry offer being that it's a one-time fee. Number 3, I compare it to what they get. I bring it back to the ROI, right? I bring it back to the ROI. Number 4, there's ample proof. Very, very key. Very, very, very key. There's ample proof that I can deliver to where the guarantee becomes an afterthought. They don't even ask. So this takes patience, guys. I know we all want the big fish, right? We got to learn how to fish first. Patience, it takes patience to get here. And patience throughout the entire sales process. Patience is a very lethal skill if you can master it. I'm very patient. Very, very, very patient. Don't be the person who complains because it takes too long to see results. Be the person who says, I'll wait as long as it takes, or be the person who says, I will outlast my competition. Either or works, but that's how you win. All right. So notice how this was more tactic and strategy oriented because that's what it turns into. The higher you go pricing wise, it turns more into like we've already established that you can do the thing at this level. We passed that. We got over that when you were at 5K. Your price was at 5K a month or whatever it is, or you're making 5K a month. We established that. Now it's just positioning. And so much of success in business is self-esteem. This is why I drop the mindset videos. It's because I can teach you the tech stuff again, and we can do a week-long workshop, a 5-day workshop, 1 hour a day. By the end of that week, you'll be one of the most lethal cold emailers on the planet. Or just spend 5 hours watching my videos. Same thing. Well, not same thing, because the workshop I would be more hands-on, but you get the point. But after that is just positioning and get you to give yourself permission to charge this much and to show you how to position yourself. There's very subtle things I do. Very, very subtle things I do. So like, I don't come here rocking like, we're going off on mindset for a second, but like, I don't do the whole like flashy thing. You wouldn't know I'm wearing like a $200 cashmere sweater, but that more affluent client would know, right? And you don't have to do that. But I'm just saying, like, there's certain little subtleties, and we will and strategies and tactics, how your VSL is positioned, the color scheme of everything. For example, like, there's a reason why my website looks the way it does. There's a reason why this VSL is 20 minutes long and not 7 minutes long, but not an hour long. Like, it's very, very, very calculated. There's a reason why I'm wearing a white t-shirt. Like, everything is very calculated, guys. This is all about positioning. And we can talk more about if we can drill the positioning down. If I can show you not what to think, but how to think. If I can get you there mentally. Scaling is an afterthought. If I can get you comfortable with charging $10,000 packages, you sell 5 of those. You sell 5 of those, you're at $50K a month. This is child's play for you at that point. I just have to get you to give yourself permission to charge $50K, 10K, for example. But now, how do we do that in a way that supports you? Okay, well, we stop leading with guarantees, right? We stop, perhaps we activate inbound, right? We have to definitely send 1,000 emails a day. Like, we already established that part. We work on the landing page, we work on the VSL, right? We take one case study and we milk it 6 or 7 different ways. We make a talking head video. We make a case study report. We get the screenshot. We get the client case study testimony. Like, we take one incident and spin it 5 or 6 different ways. So there are ways to do this to massively accelerate the rate at which you build trust. You take an offer, you optimize it for cold traffic, the one-time fee, and how you break it apart. No one ever taught me this stuff. I thought retainers were the glory. But I thought it was an insult to ask for $16,000 for up front, but really it's a $5,000 a month retainer, but just for 3 months. It's how we turn the diamond slightly so that the light refracts a little differently. That's the only thing. That's how we scale you. I just have to get you out of your own way a little bit. Okay. So we talk about how to sell $20,000 offers over cold email. This is how you do it. All right. This is how you start getting numbers like this. Okay. All right. This wasn't one deal, by the way. This was the total deal value of this campaign. But anyway, hope that answers your questions. Nothing to sell you, of course, but you can get this document in the newsletter. In the description. I am working on a mentorship offer /inner circle /mastermind offer. I'll keep you guys updated. You should join my newsletter. I give out free stuff and free sauce on there almost every day. By the way, I totally forgot, for those of you who have reached out to me for agency work, for my main agency offer, we do have a wait list enacted, but I will keep you updated via newsletter, via email, for those who have reached out and filled out applications. And of course, in these videos as well, I'll let you know when that is changed. All right. See you guys in the next video. I'm out. Peace.